What's going on, everybody? This is Living in Arizona Now, and today we're going to show you the top 10 places to live in Phoenix, Arizona heading into 2026. This list is for those of you who already live in Phoenix and you're just looking for some ideas, or for those of you even considering moving to Arizona or Phoenix in general. This is Phoenix Metro. Let's do it. First up, so let's get in the car and let's hit up some of these freeways that get you all around Phoenix. First up, here we are, Queen Creek. This town is one of the more up-and-coming areas, continuing to develop and grow around the southeast part of the valley. Just to let you know, this list is in no particular order, but at the end, I will give you my closing thoughts on where I think are some of the best places as the video goes along. I'll also interject some of that information, but Queen Creek would definitely rank up there as one of the better investment locations, as well as one of the newer up-and-coming places in the valley. As you can see by all of the new construction that continues to pop up around Queen Creek, they also have been building some really nice recreation areas. They've got some golf courses that they're putting in, and these are more modern communities that they're building. By the way, in the video when I'm referring to the valley, that's because I'm talking about the Valley of the Sun, which is the nickname for Phoenix. It's not all one big valley. As a matter of fact, Phoenix is sprawled out beyond the actual valley, but that's what the term refers to. One of the downsides to being out here in Queen Creek or even Santan Valley is there's not a direct highway that comes out here. So you've got to come in on roads like Ellsworth or Power Road to get in here, and those are all connecting to the freeways, but it's not like a straight shot that just drops you off into Queen Creek like you're going to get in other places around the Metro Phoenix area, like say Gilbert or Mesa or Glendale. As with many of the suburbs around Phoenix, a lot of it is old farmland or even ranch land, and you'll see that still to this day out here in the Queen Creek area. As you can see here by the Chapman Automotive Group Arena, this here is an equestrian center. Now we're actually headed out to Scottsdale. This is one of the most famous cities in Arizona, of course. It's also one of the highest rent districts. If you've got $1 million budget, you can find homes well over $1 million out here in Scottsdale. Old Town is the area that most people start, and then they kind of branch out. They go up to places like Kierland Commons, going up and down Scottsdale Road, which is the main thoroughfare going from north to south. As you know, Scottsdale is known as one of the golfing meccas of the world. They've got so many golf courses around here. They even have the PGA Tour event at the Scottsdale Princess, TPC. So you've got lots of golf courses like McCormick Ranch. Scottsdale in the 101 has the Penske Museum with lots of race cars. Nowadays, it seems like students from Arizona State University like to hang out around the Old Town Scottsdale area, or downtown Scottsdale more or less. This is the Fashion Square area. Then out there by Talking Stick, you have the Arizona Boardwalk. This is also where they have casino. They have golf course out here, and it seems like this is kind of an up-and-coming area. Also, they've got the aquarium and many different museums and the butterfly park. But look at this aquarium in the desert. Can you believe it? If you go all the way past the 101, you enter into North Scottsdale, and that's the super high rent district. That's where the multi-million-dollar homes are. They're going to be up in DC Ranch, around Pinnacle Peak. They've got Troon North. That's where the real money's at right there. Beautiful countryside out there. Don't be surprised if you have javelinas or rattlesnakes, or even getting some deer, coyotes in your backyard occasionally while living out here in the high desert in the foothills. Back down to southeast Phoenix, here we are in Gilbert, also known as DTG, which is downtown Gilbert, but Gilbert is much more than the downtown area. Although if you were to say the top 4 or top 5 downtown areas to hang out in Phoenix, downtown Gilbert usually would get mentioned in that list, along with Tempe, maybe even downtown Phoenix for some people who like to go to sporting events. You've also got places like downtown Scottsdale, which we just showed you. So you can see right here, really a famous place. You can't forget about downtown Chandler as well. Gilbert is much more than the downtown area. Like I said, they've got great place to raise families. I would say Gilbert feels more like a more mature Queen Creek, especially since it's got the highways and the freeways that connect and run through here, like Loop 202. But Gilbert really is a nice place to live. I think it was ranked one of the top communities in the country several years in a row. So that tells you about what you're going to get here in the Gilbert area. This big ballpark where they've got a bunch of different baseball fields out here so kids can feel like they're almost playing in the big leagues when they're out there at Cactus Fields. You've got the Gilbert Riparian. They've done a great job of incorporating outdoor kind of living with the city. As you can see with the Riparian and some of the other parks and the canals, how you've got these bike paths. Obviously in Arizona during the summer, it's hard to ride a bike in Phoenix Metro or do any cardio because it's just so darn hot. Now here we are out in Chandler. This is right next to Gilbert. So as you can see, some of the top areas on our list here are in Southeast Phoenix. As you can see, we've already mentioned Queen Creek, Gilbert, and Chandler. They're like the triplets of the Phoenix metro area. So it seems like the east side of Phoenix is really the better area of Phoenix metro, to be completely honest with you, just based on what you're seeing now. Everything here is east of Central so far. I'm not saying there's nothing out on the west side, but you're getting an idea of kind of where the better places are in our opinion. Now you're going to get a even more developed area than you would have in, say, Gilbert. So Chandler is more mature than Gilbert. It's also closer to Central Phoenix. It's closer to the I-10 freeway, which means it's easier to get to downtown Phoenix. It's also closer to the South Mountain Park area. And I think Chandler has one of the better downtowns. I would say it's probably even better, in my opinion, than downtown Gilbert, which a lot of people like, but downtown Chandler just seems to have a nice vibe. They've also got Ocotillo, which is like lakeside living, and they have the Intel campus here. So people with money and tech smarts have moved down to Chandler. They have some really big, beautiful homes. The thing in Chandler that you don't get is land. You get a nice backyard, but you don't get like a nice plot of land. That's one of the things about living in the city, is you're not going to get much land acreage. If you wanted that, you'd have to look outside of the metro area, of course, but they give these nice big homes and a little backyard in most cases, especially here in Chandler. Now here we are in Tempe. So Tempe's been undergoing an urban revival. So it's always kind of been one of the premier hotspots in the Phoenix metro area. I mean, it's literally right next to the city of Phoenix, but this area here has gotten a real facelift as they've done some upgrades to the river area, which is now called the Rio Salado. Salado being Salt River, okay? So this is the Salt River project, kind of taking its plans down to the Tempe area, and they've made it a lake. It's called the Tempe Town Lake, and they've got even some commercial high rises. It's also next to Arizona State University, but the homes out here are a bit older. I mean, you'll still find homes that are literally made of block or brick. They don't build homes in Arizona out of block or brick anymore. As you know, in Phoenix Metro, you're not going to find homes with basements either, but nowadays they build most of the houses using wood, and then they put some stucco on the outside, and that's pretty much how they build it. But in Tempe, you'll still find block and brick homes, old school style, although a lot of those are getting replaced with the new designs, just as the metro area is modernizing. Mill Avenue is the famous downtown road, right there where Arizona State University kind of goes and hangs out at the restaurants, especially when school's in session. Now, it's called Mill Avenue because there's this old mill that's still there, but no one knows what they're going to do with it. It's just at the foot of the mountain. It's an old historical monument, but it's kind of just taking up space right there in the downtown Tempe area. I have no idea what the deal is with that. But now we're actually going to go check out Phoenix. So Phoenix is the largest city in the Phoenix metro area, and the big area that goes right here is Central. Okay, so Central is the center of the city as they laid out the grid. To the east, you have streets. To the west, you have avenues. And so Central is basically the heart of the city of Phoenix. And you'll see from about 7th Avenue to 7th Street and Central, that 14 streets just kind of going north to south, you'll see high rises along that area. And the area is downtown Phoenix. That's been getting a facelift. This is where the Phoenix Suns play, the Arizona Diamondbacks baseball team. They also play down here. They have concerts. And this area just kind of keeps looking like it's going to come up, but it never quite gets there. Then you have Papago, you have the zoo here. Nice area to walk around. They've got the botanical garden. And then you've got the area that kind of bumps up next to Camelback Mountain, right next to Paradise Valley. Paradise Valley is a really beautiful area. This is the highest rent district, and it's kind of attached to the Phoenix metro area, but it's got its own zip code. But you could see lots of unique designs around the Phoenix area, especially here at the Arizona Falls. You've also got plenty of hikes. I don't know if you guys know Pietswa Peak or some of the other hikes, North Mountain, South Mountain. There's other areas like Arcadia, then there's the Biltmore. Those are famous areas. And then you have North Phoenix around Desert Ridge, which is where the Musical Instrument Museum is. That's a really nice part of Phoenix Metro. Now we're headed out to Mesa. I actually live out in Mesa, but let me tell you a little bit about Mesa. So you got like Old Mesa, which is where Superstition Springs are. And you got downtown Mesa, which is really sleepy. I mean, there's not much going on in downtown Mesa. But the cool thing about Mesa is it's the largest suburb in America. But also another thing to know is they're building massive data centers on the far east side of Mesa. So East Mesa is very modern. West Mesa is a bit run down. I don't know what it is about Phoenix, but anything west is always just not getting as much love as the east side of pretty much anything. Seems like all of the money and affluence and modernity always gravitates towards the east in Phoenix Metro, and Mesa is no exception to that. But you got this area called Eastmark. That was one of the top 10 best master plan communities in the country. So if you're someone who's looking to move out here, check out the area around Eastmark and Cadence. It's on the far east end. They've also got the second biggest airport in Phoenix Metro. It's called Williams Gateway. You can actually get flights here to Canada. You can even go out to Las Vegas from here. So that's kind of cool. You don't always have to go all the way to Sky Harbor. It's just, I think the airlines out here are going to be like Allegiant or some of the smaller carriers. Oh, now's a good time to mention spring training baseball. They do have a couple different teams out here in Mesa. The Athletics, I don't know if we're calling them Las Vegas or Oakland at this point, but you've also got the Chicago Cubs play spring training. But all across Phoenix, you're going to find spring training baseball. That's also in Florida, but Florida and Arizona do spring training in March. Mesa used to be one of the places you would go for modern malls, but now they don't really have any over here, so that's an interesting situation. But now we're headed out to the west side. For the first time, we're headed to Glendale. You can see they're building the new Mattel theme park out here. This is also where the Arizona Cardinals play football. It's all in this area called Westgate. So that's the most popular area around Glendale, and it is up and coming for sure. They are developing nicely. It's right along the 101 freeway, and then you've got other areas around the stadium that are really building up. You've got the Desert Diamond Casino, plenty of hotels out here. It's just not quite there. It's going to need some continued development to get there, but you can see this area has potential around the stadium. And then if you go north, you're in the older area of the modern part of Glendale, which is nearby Peoria. This is Arrowhead Lakes, and this is a nice area for living, I would say. It's about 15 minutes north of the stadium, or maybe 10 minutes if you take the freeway. But if you go towards downtown Glendale, I'm gonna say you probably don't really wanna live or be down there unless you're really looking to save some money. If you were looking for a more secure and safe area on the west side, but you don't mind paying a little bit more, head out to Peoria. Now, on the west side, in the northwest side, they do have Sun City Grand, Sun City, all these different Sun Cities, but Peoria is really farther northwest, but actually north, I would say, towards the Lake Pleasant area. This is a really nice community up here. It's developing, it's growing, it's far northwest. I would say this is going to be maybe where the people who want to be on the west side are, get some of that cheaper Scottsdale type lifestyle with the vistas and the foothills without paying that kind of price, because West Phoenix metro area is just going to be a bit more affordable. Peoria is a bit safer on the west side as well. A lot safer, actually. I mean, if I could, I would live on the banks of the Lake Pleasant. I think it's just beautiful, but you're never going to be able to do that, even though that is probably one of the most beautiful lakes around Phoenix. It's actually like living in, say, the Sea of Cortez in Mexico, because it's desert, you know, kind of vistas, but you'll never be able to get a home up there. But you can get close enough in a place like Vistancia. They've got the Trilogy Golf Club up there. Lots of beautiful homes around Vistancia. You guys should probably check that one out if you're looking for really nice homes that are not as expensive as Scottsdale, but same kind of quality, really, I would have to say. Got a lot of potential out here in Peoria, especially around that Vistancia. And now we're actually headed out to Buckeye. The last time I was in Buckeye, I went around to Verrado, which is probably one of the premier destinations out there, but they also have the downtown area of Buckeye, which is south of I-10. We didn't really film you too much around the Verrado area for this one, but Buckeye has a lot of land acreage that you can buy. This is actually where three rivers come together. They have the Gila River, the Salt River, and the Agua Fria. They all kind of meet right here and then all become the Salt River, or the Gila River, I should say, that empties into the Colorado River down by Yuma. But Buckeye definitely has a lot of potential for those of you who are thinking about moving to Arizona and you want some affordable housing or affordable land. Maybe consider going out to Buckeye, especially around that Verrado area. It's kind of like the Scottsdale of Buckeye, I would say. It's a really nice area out there at the base of the White Tank Mountains. But if you're coming to Arizona, in final thoughts, and you're looking for places to live across Metro Phoenix, I would say my favorites are going to be probably Ahwatukee and or Chandler area. So I'm going to just say that Chandler and Ahwatukee are in it together. That's one area. Ahwatukee is too small to really put on this list because it's just a small area. So it's really like Chandler, Ahwatukee. You could almost say Chandler, Ahwatukee, Tempe, kind of a similar area. But I also like that area around North Scottsdale, if you can afford it. That's a really nice place to be. That area around Queen Creek, definitely up and coming. They got lots of activities. If I was to move to Glendale, I would say that Arrowhead area is really a nice place to be. I would live there, possibly if the price was right. But again, it's that Chandler, Ahwatukee area, and then North Scottsdale, and then there's that area around Peoria that I really like. I think it's all going to come down to pricing. So that's the big factor. I also like East Mesa, especially around the Salt River. They've got a couple places around there, not necessarily on the river, but nearby the river. The closer you are towards those mountains, the Usuri Mountains, really nice. Anywhere around the Superstition Mountains, especially like Gold Canyon. I would probably end up over in Gold Canyon if I wanted rural lifestyle. And then there's Cave Creek in the north, New River if you guys really want some high-end property. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next one. Please watch our best Arizona weekend getaways next. Click the link.